She didn't just want your time, she wanted to be seen. In that final moment before the silence began, she put herself out there. Perhaps it was a subtle tilt of the head, a vulnerable text, or a lingering look that whispered everything she couldn't say out loud. She invited you into her space, and you did the one thing she hadn't prepared for. You walked away. Right now, she's putting on a brave face, telling her friends she's fine, and keeping her schedule packed to bridge the gaps in her day. But behind the scenes, a psychological clock has started ticking. In exactly 72 hours, the silence you left behind is going to become the loudest thing in her life. This is the raw, unedited journey of what happens inside a woman's mind when the man she wanted suddenly vanishes into the void. The initial phase isn't about heartbreak. It's about the ego. For the first 12 hours, she is in a state of high alert processing. She's replaying the tape of your final interaction like a forensic scientist looking for a motive. At the 3-hour mark, she's checking her phone settings to make sure her notifications are actually working. By the 6th hour, she's rationalizing your absence, telling herself you're probably just exhausted, or perhaps you're testing her. There is a sharp, stinging sensation in her chest every time the screen lights up, and it isn't your name. She feels a status hit, a sudden drop in her perceived value in your eyes. She tells herself she won't be that girl who double texts, yet she keeps the phone within arm's reach even when she's in the shower. She's building a defensive wall of dignity, but the mortar is still wet. As the sun sets and rises again without a word from you, the internal dialogue shifts from, "What is he doing?" to a much more dangerous question, "What is wrong with me?" This is where the emotional suspense begins to gnaw at her. The 24-hour mark is the death of the busy excuse. No one is too busy for 24 hours to send a 10-second text. She begins to analyze her own worthiness. She wonders if she was too much, or perhaps not enough. She starts to feel a sense of embarrassment for wanting your attention in the first place. The thrill of the initial attraction is being replaced by a cold, creeping anxiety. Every social media post she sees of yours, or even your lack of activity, is scrutinized for clues. She is trapped in an open loop, and because you didn't provide an ending, her brain is forced to manufacture one, usually casting herself as the person who wasn't worth the effort of a reply. By the second day, the silence has moved from her mind into her body. This is the peak of the psychological Zeigarnik Effect, where the uncompleted task of your relationship haunts her every thought. She experiences a withdrawal, similar to a physical addiction. The dopamine spikes she used to get from your attention have bottomed out, leaving her in a state of emotional thirst. She might find herself staring at her phone with a thumb hovering over the keypad, typing out a long, heated paragraph only to delete it in a fit of pride. There is a dark adrenaline in this stage, a mixture of fury and longing. She wants to hate you for the power you have over her mood, but that very hatred is just another form of attachment. She is looking for proof of life, checking your last seen status, or seeing if you viewed her stories. The suspense is no longer a mystery, it's an agony. At the 72-hour mark, something profound shifts. The human brain cannot maintain a state of high alert anxiety indefinitely. It eventually has to protect itself. This is the reset. The desperation she felt at the 48-hour mark begins to calcify into a cold, hard clarity. She realizes that the silence isn't a mistake or a delay. it is a choice. You chose the space between you over the connection with her. A sense of detachment begins to set in. She feels a weary kind of freedom. She has survived 3 days without your validation, and that realization is a powerful, if painful, epiphany. The thrill of the chase is dead, replaced by the chill of indifference. She isn't just giving you space anymore. She is starting to fill that space with other things, other people, her own ambitions, or simply a new, harder version of herself. When a man walks away to get attention, he is playing a game of chicken with a woman's heart. You wanted to see if she would miss you, and she did. You wanted to see if she would wait, and for 71 hours, she likely did. But at hour 72, the door begins to close. The tragedy of the walk-away tactic is that by the time you decide to reappear, the woman who was so desperate for your gaze has learned how to look at herself instead. If you finally text her now, she might see the notification and feel a flicker of the old flame, but she will also remember the 3 days of silence that preceded it. She has learned that she can survive the void. The question is no longer whether she wants your attention. The question is whether you still deserve hers.